There exists within you a power so vast, so complete, so eternally creative that if you were to truly grasp it even for a moment, the boundaries of time itself would bow before your awareness. This power is not distant. It is not hidden in the stars or buried beneath sacred texts. It is you, the invisible consciousness that observes, imagines, and feels. For in truth, you do not have imagination, you are imagination. Every second of your life is not the product of external circumstance, but the living projection of your inner assumption. And when that assumption changes, time must obey. This is the secret Christ revealed when he said, "It is done unto you according to your faith." Matthew 9:29. He did not speak in metaphor, he spoke in divine law. Faith is imagination held with conviction. It is not the hope that something might come to pass. It is the quiet knowing that it already has. And in that knowing, the linear chain of cause and effect collapses. You step out of time, and time rearranges itself to match your state of consciousness. This is the mystery of manifestation, that what you assume to be true inwardly becomes fact outwardly. There is no delay, except the delay created by disbelief. For to the awakened, manifestation is not a process, it is a recognition. The moment you feel your wish fulfilled, the universe has already obeyed. Everything that follows is the visible unfolding of that unseen act. Science now whispers what mystics have proclaimed for ages, that time is not a river flowing forward, but an ocean in which every wave exists simultaneously. Past, present, and future are not separate events, but different perspectives within one eternal now. And you, through imagination, can move between them as easily as you move between thoughts. So when you imagine the end, when you feel as though your desire were already realized, you are not fantasizing. You are selecting a state already existing in the infinite. The unseen world rearranges itself instantly. And what you call waiting is simply your senses catching up to what consciousness has already claimed. Do not be deceived by appearances. The world of form is not solid. It is obedient energy shaped by awareness. Your body, your circumstances, your relationships, they are not fixed. They are fluid, responsive, malleable shadows cast by the light of your inner vision. To manifest effortlessly, you must understand this. You do not attract what you want. You become what you believe. The law of attraction is not a force acting upon you. It is the mirror of your own state of being. So to collapse time is to collapse the illusion of separation between you and your desire. It is to enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled until the old self, the one who lacked, who waited, who doubted, disappears. This is not daydreaming. This is spiritual science. The moment you assume the state of the wish fulfilled, everything not in harmony with that state begins to dissolve. People move, doors open, opportunities arise not through effort, but through divine orchestration, because consciousness commands and the world responds. Listen carefully. You are not manifesting things, you are manifesting states of consciousness. The outer world is merely the evidence of which state you currently occupy. If you wish to change your world, do not fight circumstances, change states. Move inwardly from one identity to another, and the world must conform. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. Transformation is not through force, but through imagination. When the inner man is renewed, the outer man must follow. Close your eyes and imagine not as something to come, but as something already accomplished. See yourself where you wish to be. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the quiet satisfaction of completion. Hold it until it feels natural, until it no longer feels like pretending, but remembering, and then release it. Do not strain, do not chase. Simply rest in the certainty that creation is finished. This is how you collapse time, by removing the idea that it must take time at all, because time is the servant of belief. When you believe something will take years, it takes years. When you believe it is already done, the entire sequence compresses itself to fulfill that command. You bend the fabric of time by living from the end, not toward it. This is what the Master meant when he said, "Before Abraham was, I am." John 8:58. He spoke from the eternal present, the point of creation where all things exist now. Your imagination is that same eternal I am. It does not operate in time. It creates time. So when you feel your desire is done, you are not hoping, you are commanding the structure of reality. And what of effort? Does one not need to act? Yes, but right action is effortless. When the inner state is aligned, action flows naturally. without strain, without hesitation. It feels guided, inevitable like breathing. The world arranges itself to express your assumption. The anxious mind plans, the awakened mind allows. Faith is not idleness, it is cooperation with divine intelligence. Think of the seed buried in soil. It does not struggle to grow, it expands silently, in perfect timing, because its nature is to unfold. So too with you, your desire is the seed, imagination the soil, faith the water, and feeding the sunlight. All you must do is assume the end and rest. The law of life will complete what you have begun. When you live from the end, you stop asking, when will it happen? You know that it has happened. And the moment you stop measuring time, time bows to your belief. It is written, whatsoever things ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Mark 11:24. Notice the order: believe that you receive them now, and then you shall have them in form. Belief precedes manifestation. Faith precedes fact. You do not wait for evidence to believe. You believe, and the evidence appears. This is divine law, exact, unbreakable, eternal. To the natural mind, this sounds like impossibility. To the awakened mind, it is the only reality. For faith collapses distance. It collapses waiting. It collapses effort. It reveals that the entire journey was an illusion of perception, a story told to convince you that you are separate from what you desire. But you are not separate. You never were. You only imagined that you were. And since imagination created the illusion of distance, imagination alone can dissolve it. When you declare I am, you set creation into motion. What follows I am becomes the living word, the pattern through which reality flows. Say, I am abundant, and abundance must appear. Say, I am healed, and health begins to form around that vibration. Say, I am love, and every relationship aligns to mirror that truth. But say, I am waiting, and light echoes back delay. Say, I am lacking, and lack becomes your teacher until you awaken. So guard the words that follow I am as sacred. They are not affirmations, they are decrees. When spoken with conviction, they collapse the illusions of time and space, revealing the eternal now where all is complete. And so I say to you, stop asking when. Stop asking how. Start feeling now. Your imagination is not a tool to get something. It is the act of creation itself. It is God in motion, dreaming through you. When you feel the joy of the fulfilled wish, the magnetic field of your heart changes instantly. Your brain begins to fire as though the event has already occurred. Quantum physics confirms it. The wave collapses into form the moment it is observed with certainty. Observation with emotion is creation. Do you see the union of science and spirit here? The experiment and the prayer are one. The observer and the creator are the same. You are the one collapsing the wave. You are the one shaping the field. You are the one determining what time must deliver next. So live each moment as the fulfilled version of yourself. Walk, speak, think, and feel from that state. Let every breath affirm it silently. It is done. And when the mind tempts you to doubt, to measure, to panic, return to the silence within, for in stillness the truth speaks. The stillness is the signal of alignment. Do not seek signs, become the sign. Do not look for proof, be the proof. Let your peace be the evidence of your faith. When you live this way, manifestation ceases to be an event. It becomes a rhythm, a continual outflow of divine creativity through you. You no longer manifest desires, you express states. And in that expression, life becomes effortless. Because you are no longer chasing the future, you are creating it now. Every desire you hold is already complete in another dimension of consciousness. Your task is not to make it happen, but to tune into it. Like a radio signal, it already exists. You simply align your frequency through feeling. This is how time collapses. It cannot withhold from the consciousness that already contains the fulfillment. So breathe deeply. Let go of striving. Let go of waiting. Let go of someday. And let this truth resound within you. I am already what I seek. Feel that not as an idea, but as reality. Let your entire nervous system relax into that knowing. Let every cell vibrate with completion. That is prayer. That is creation. That is how you manifest every desire effortlessly. And when you open your eyes again, The world will begin to rearrange itself not slowly, but instantly. Because the moment you assume the new state, the old one died. The law of life cannot be broken. You become what you believe. So go now and live as one who already has. Love as one who already is. Walk as one who already knows. For the kingdom of heaven is not coming, it is here, within you, waiting to be seen. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the substance, the evidence, the certainty that the invisible is more real than the visible. Live from that certainty, and you will find that miracles are not extraordinary at all. They are the natural order of an awakened mind. So when the next desire rises within you, do not question it, do not doubt it, do not delay it. Close your eyes, feel it done, and rest. Know that the universe has already obeyed, for creation is finished. Time is but the echo, and in that knowing, you become what you have always been. The Word made flesh, the dreamer awake, the timeless being in whom all desires are already complete. Be still and know it is done. And now that you know creation is finished, the question that remains is not how to make it happen, but how to remain faithful to what you have already created. The old habits of thought will whisper to you, look, nothing has changed yet. But that voice belongs to the former state, the one already passing away. When you feel that whisper, do not argue with it. Do not resist it. Simply answer with calm assurance. It is done. Faith is not pretending you do not see appearances. It is seeing them and knowing they have no final say. The seed of a tree looks nothing like the tree itself. Yet within that seed, the entire pattern is complete. So it is with every desire. Its form may not yet be visible, but in consciousness it already exists. Your task is simple. Keep the inner pattern alive through attention and feeling. Do not dig up the seed to check if it is growing. Keep watering it with thanksgiving. Gratitude is the language of completion. When you give thanks for something unseen, you acknowledge that it already is. And in that acknowledgement, you fuse the invisible and the visible into one experience. Each time you return to that inner state of fulfillment, you shorten the apparent distance between cause and effect. The more you rest in it, the faster time collapses into alignment. You have felt it before, those moments when things seem to happen too perfectly, too swiftly, to be coincidence. That is the rhythm of consciousness obeyed instantly. It is not luck, it is law. The universe was designed to echo your inner conviction. Everything responds to the tone of your belief. Even your body is subject to it. When you assume you are whole, the intelligence of every cell reorganizes to express that wholeness. When you assume you are loved, the electromagnetic field of your heart expands, and you begin to draw matching frequencies into form. This is not poetry, this is physics, animated by spirit. You are both observer and creator. Where your focus goes, particles arrange. What you believe, energy becomes. And so, to live as a conscious creator, you need only to stay loyal to the end state, to let feeling guide you more than fact, to let inner conviction speak louder than outer circumstance. When you feel yourself slipping back into doubt, pause. Do not condemn yourself. Doubt is simply a reminder that you have momentarily forgotten your identity. Return inward. Breathe. Whisper the sacred words again. I am. Let those two words anchor you. They are the name of the eternal. Every truth you need flows from them. I am abundance. I am wisdom. I am peace. I am the awareness in which all things are possible. This is not repetition for comfort. It is the re-establishment of dominion. It is you reclaiming authorship over the dream. And as you make this your daily rhythm, life will begin to reveal its deeper intelligence. You will notice synchronicities, ideas, encounters that seem to come from nowhere. They are the footprints of the unseen made visible. Creation does not need your worry. It only needs your agreement. When you agree inwardly, when your feeling and your assumption harmonize, the unseen moves mountains quietly, without strain, without delay. So keep your imagination clean. Refuse to entertain images of failure or fear, not because you are avoiding reality, but because you know that reality is created through what you hold in consciousness. Every image, every inner dialogue is a seed. Sow lovingly, sow deliberately, sow in faith, and then live, smile. Go about your day with the easy confidence of one who already possesses what he once sought. That is the vibration that collapses time. That is the state in which the impossible becomes inevitable. For when you no longer wait, you invite. When you no longer chase, you attract. When you no longer doubt, you demonstrate. It was never about learning how to manifest. It was always about remembering that you already are the manifestation of divine thought. You are the image through which God experiences his own imagination. Every desire is his invitation for you to know more of him through yourself. When you fulfill a desire, you do not steal from heaven, you reveal heaven. Let this realization settle into the deepest part of you. God dreams through you. And when you say, I desire, heaven answers, then so be it. There is no conflict between the spiritual and the material. There is only unity expressing itself at different densities. The invisible becomes visible through you. So walk softly through this world, knowing that every thought is sacred, every feeling creative, every word an act of power. Do not rush to speak of what you are doing. Simply be it. Let your peace announce it. Let your results testify. And when you look upon your world, even the parts that still appear unfinished, see them through the eyes of love. Bless them, for they are the clay still being shaped by your consciousness. This is how you live beyond time. This is how you manifest effortlessly. By resting, by knowing, by feeling the truth so completely that effort becomes unnecessary. As you practice this awareness, something will change quietly inside you. The old urgency will fade. Patience will no longer feel like waiting, but like participation in a divine unfolding. And in that calm, you will hear the same voice that spoke the universe into being. The voice of I am, whispering through your own heart. All that I have is thine. Luke 15:31. Let that be the closing of all striving. Let that be the song beneath every breath. You are not chasing destiny. You are destiny realized. You are not begging for miracles. You are the miracle remembering itself. And in this knowing, all time collapses into the eternal now, where every desire already lives fulfilled. Be still and know it is done. And as the stillness deepens, feel the shift. You are no longer the one waiting at the edge of life. You are the life itself, expanding. Every breath that moves through you is the rhythm of creation. Every moment is a doorway. There is nothing left to chase. There is only awareness unfolding, infinitely new, infinitely complete. Let this be your prayer without words. I rest in what already is. And from that rest, action will rise when needed. Not the action born of fear, but the gentle impulse of love expressing itself. It will come as intuition, as inspiration, as effortless motion. Follow it, and you will find that the world meets you halfway. For creation delights in being recognized. It rushes to mirror the consciousness that knows itself as whole. Look now at your hands. The same energy that spins galaxies flows through them. Look at the world around you. It is not outside you, but within the same field of awareness that you are. The veil of time grows thin here. Past and future dissolve into presence. You realize that every fulfilled desire is simply this moment seen clearly. So stand quietly in the light of your own being. Whisper if you wish, I am here. I am whole. I am the beloved of God. Let those words ripple through your entire body until even your heartbeat feels like an amen. And as you move forward from this place, carry the silence with you. Let it walk before you into every conversation, every challenge, every dream. You will see how the outer world bends gently around that peace. People will feel it before you speak. Doors will open before you knock, because you will no longer be a seeker of miracles. You will be the living evidence that miracles are the natural language of God through man. This is the end of delay, the end of separation, the end of the idea that you must wait to become. You already are. So breathe once more deep, slow, complete. Let gratitude rise until it fills every corner of your awareness. Gratitude for the unseen that is already seen by faith, for the promises that are already kept, for the life that is already whole. And as you exhale, let the words settle softly. It is finished. The music of the world continues, but within you there is only peace. The sun moves, the tides change, and through it all, you remain. The witness, the dreamer, the timeless light. Go now, not to search, but to shine. Live as one who knows. Love as one who remembers. And let your every breath declare quietly to all creation, I am. And now, as the echo of those two words, I am, fades gently through your awareness, you begin to notice how quiet the world feels. Not because it has changed, but because you are seeing it from the center rather than the edge. Everything you once called waiting becomes rhythm. Everything you once called delay becomes design. Time is no longer a chain. It is a current that carries you exactly where you are meant to be. You understand now that creation is not a race. It is an unfolding. And you, as consciousness, are both the witness and the unfolding itself. Each breath you take completes a circle begun before you were born. Each thought you release is a thread returning to the tapestry of the eternal. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. Every heartbeat speaks of the same intelligence that sets suns in motion. Let this realization be your rest. You cannot fall out of divine order. You cannot lose what belongs to your true state. You can only awaken to it. So let awakening be your only aim, not as struggle, but as recognition. Recognition that God's dream is already perfect, and you are the dream alive in form. When you meet the eyes of another, remember this: the same light that looks through you looks through them. When you touch the earth, feel it pulse with the same life that beats in your chest. When you speak, let your words be gentle, for they are creative acts shaping the worlds you walk through. And when you rest, rest knowing that no prayer goes unheard, no vision unseen, no faith unfulfilled. The law of life is exact, and love is its name. There will be days when old patterns rise again, when fear calls softly from the edges of memory. Do not curse those moments. Smile at them, and remember they are only echoes, the final ripples of states you have already left behind. Stand still, let them pass. You need not fight the shadow once you have turned toward the sun. Each time you choose calm instead of reaction, you strengthen your awareness of truth. Each time you choose gratitude instead of complaint, you shorten the distance between heaven and earth. Each time you choose love instead of judgment, you collapse the illusion of separation a little more. This is how eternity expresses itself in time, not through great effort, but through quiet choices repeated in faith. And so, as this teaching comes to its quiet close, feel again that steady presence within you, the one that was here before any beginning, the one that will remain after every ending. It is peace. It is awareness. It is you. Let the music of that realization fill the spaces where worry once lived. Let it breathe through your body until even the smallest movement feels sacred. The air itself becomes prayer. The light around you becomes blessing. And when you open your eyes again, carry this stillness into the world. Carry it into every task, every word, every meeting. It will go before you as clarity, behind you as protection, within you as unfading joy. You have learned to live from the end. Now live from the beginning that has no end. Let everything you see remind you of what you know, that the eternal is not beyond you, but within you, that the future is not coming, but unfolding through you, that every desire is already fulfilled in the heart of God. Be still and know it is done. And as this truth settles deeper than thought, deeper than feeling, you realize that there is no finish line at all. Only this endless unfolding of awareness discovering itself. Each moment becomes new creation. Each breath, a gentle yes whispered to life. You need not understand how it all will move. You only need to remain open. The same intelligence that teaches the bird to sing and the sea to open at the right hour moves through you now, guiding, arranging, revealing. So let the coming days be light upon your shoulders. Let time serve you with ease. Let love flow through you without measure. Wherever you walk, walk softly, as one who knows the ground beneath every step is holy. And when night returns and the world grows still again, listen for the quiet pulse beneath the silence. That steady, timeless voice repeating in every heart, be not afraid, all is well, I am with you always. Let those words become the last sound before sleep and the first awareness upon waking, for they are the truth behind all truths, the presence behind every name, the eternal rhythm of the life that you are. Rest in that knowing. Breathe in the peace of it. Breathe out the light of it. And let this final thought echo gently through the chambers of your soul. I am whole. I am one. I am home. And now, in this quiet, beyond words, everything slows. The breath softens. Thoughts fall away like petals from a flower that has already given its fragrance. Only awareness remains vast, luminous, at rest. Here, there is nothing to fix, nothing to reach for. Even the desire to understand melts into simple being. You discover that peace was never something you had to build. It was what waited beneath every effort, patient and eternal. Let yourself stay here for a moment longer. Let the rhythm of your breathing remind you that life itself prays through you. Every inhale is the universe entering. Every exhale, the universe returning home. Carry this rhythm with you when you rise. Let your work, your laughter, your silence all move from this same center. There is no part of your day that cannot be holy when you meet it from within this awareness. And if ever you forget, if noise and hurry seem to cover this peace, stop for a breath, close your eyes, and remember, it has never left you. It cannot leave, because it is what you are. You are the stillness beneath sound, the light behind form, the love through which all things are made new. So go now quietly, freely, back into the world that is also your own reflection. Let kindness be your language, gratitude your posture, and wonder your constant companion. May every face remind you of the same light. May every moment draw you deeper into the truth already written in your heart, that the life of God and your life are not two. And as the final note of this knowing fades into silence, may you hear, in the very center of that silence, the timeless whisper of creation itself, be still, beloved. All is well. You are the light of the world. And so, with this breath, the circle closes. Nothing more needs to be said. The words, the images, the feelings all dissolve back into stillness. Only awareness remains. You have not reached an ending. You have returned to the beginning that was always here. Let this moment be your sanctuary. Let this knowing be your peace. Wherever you walk from here, whatever you touch, may it carry the quiet light of this remembrance. You are never separate, never lost, never without the presence. It moves through you, as you, forever, creating forever new. Go now in that certainty. Live gently, love deeply, shine quietly. And as the music of the world continues, may this truth echo softly within you. All is one, all is well, all is God. Amen.
I want you to forget everything you have been told about limitation, about impossibility, about the harsh realities of life. I want you to open your mind to a truth that the mystics have known for centuries, a truth that science is only now beginning to glimpse, and a truth that, when fully understood and applied, will make you the master of your destiny. This truth is that consciousness is the only reality, and that your imagination, when properly directed, is the creative force that shapes your world. Look around you at this very moment. Everything you see, every object, every structure, every invention was once nothing more than a natural act in someone's mind. The chair you sit upon was first imagined by its creator. The building that houses us tonight existed first in the consciousness of an architect. The clothes upon your back, the shoes upon your feet, the very words I speak to you now, all of these began as images in consciousness before they became facts in your world. This is the great secret that has been hidden in plain sight throughout all the ages. The Bible tells us that God said, "Let us make man in our image after our likeness and let them have dominion." What does this mean? It means that you as man, as consciousness, possess the same creative power that brought the universe into being. You have dominion over your world through the power of your imagination. When you truly understand this, when you truly believe this, when you truly feel this, then you will begin to manifest your dreams into reality with the same certainty that the sun rises each morning. But you must understand what I mean by imagination. I do not speak of mere daydreaming or wishful thinking. I speak of controlled, disciplined, feeling-filled imagination. I speak of the kind of imagination that takes a desired state and makes it so real, so vivid, so present to your consciousness that your whole being accepts it as true. This is the imagination that creates, that manifests, that brings dreams into reality. Your imagination, when properly used, is not creating something new. It is revealing what already exists in the realm of infinite possibilities. Every dream you have ever had, every desire you have ever felt, every goal you have ever set, already exists in a state of completion in the eternal now. Your task is not to create these things, but to appropriate them, to claim them, to make them yours through the power of imaginative assumption. Assumption is the key that unlocks every door. When you assume that you are what you want to be, when you assume that you have what you want to have, when you assume that you are experiencing what you want to experience, you are not being dishonest or deceptive. You are being true to the highest truth about yourself. You are acknowledging that in the realm of consciousness, in the realm of imagination, all things are possible and all dreams are achievable. But assumption must be more than mere intellectual acknowledgement. It must become a feeling, a conviction, a knowing that penetrates every fiber of your being. When you assume your wish fulfilled, you must feel yourself into the reality of that assumption. You must live from the end, as though your dream has already been realized, as though your goal has already been achieved, as though your desire has already been fulfilled. This is where most people fail in their attempts to manifest their dreams. They assume with their minds, but not with their hearts. They think their wish fulfilled, but do not feel their wish fulfilled. They intellectually accept their good, but do not emotionally embody their good. The heart is the creative center, and feeling is the secret that activates the creative power of imagination. When I speak of feeling, I do not mean emotion, though emotion may accompany feeling. I mean the deep inner conviction that what you are imagining is true. It is the feeling of certainty, the feeling of knowing, the feeling of having. It is the feeling that says, it is done, not it will be done. It is the feeling that accepts your dream as accomplished fact, not as future possibility. This feeling, this conviction, this assumption of your wish fulfilled must be sustained until it becomes natural to you. You must persist in this assumption until it no longer feels like an assumption, but feels like the truth of this. You must continue in this feeling until your outer world conforms to your inner assumption. This is the law, and it never fails when properly applied. The world you see around you is nothing more than the outward manifestation of your inner assumptions. If you do not like what you see in your world, do not try to change the world. Change your assumptions about yourself and your world will change to reflect your new assumptions. This is the only way lasting change can occur. This is the only way dreams become reality. Your dreams are not separate from you. They are not external goals that you must somehow attain through struggle and effort. Your dreams are aspects of yourself that you have not yet claimed. They are potentials within your consciousness that await your recognition and acceptance. When you understand this, when you really grasp this truth, then manifesting your dreams becomes as natural as breathing, as automatic as your heartbeat. Every night when you go to sleep, you have the opportunity to plant the seeds of your dreams in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. As you lie in bed, in that drowsy, receptive state between waking and sleeping, you can imagine yourself as you want to be, having what you want to experiencing what you want to experience. In this state, your conscious mind relaxes its grip, and your imagination can work its magic unimpeded by doubt or fear. This practice, which I call the technique of assumption, is perhaps the most powerful tool you possess for manifesting your dreams into reality. Night after night as you fall asleep, assume that your dream is fulfilled. Feel yourself living in the reality of your accomplished goal. Experience the satisfaction, the joy, the fulfillment of having achieved what you desire. Do this consistently, persistently, faithfully, and your assumption will harden into fact. But do not limit your practice to the moment before sleep. Throughout your day, whenever you remember, return to your assumption. Live from the end. Act as though your dream is already realized. Think as the person you want to become would think. Feel as the person who has achieved your goal would feel. Speak as the person who possesses what you desire would speak. Make your assumptions so much a part of you that it becomes your natural state of being. Remember, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is physically real and what is vividly imagined. To your subconscious, your imaginal acts are just as real as your physical experiences. This is why imagination is so powerful. This is why assumption works. Your subconscious mind accepts whatever you persistently imagine and feel is true, and then works to make it true in your physical experience. Your subconscious mind is the faithful servant that never questions your commands. Whatever you assume to be true about yourself and your world, your subconscious accepts and works to externalize. This is why it is so important to be careful about what you assume, to be selective about what you imagine, to be deliberate about what you feel. Your assumptions, whether positive or negative, whether desired or feared, are constantly creating your experience. Many of you have been unconsciously assuming limitation, lack, and impossibility. You have been imagining the worst instead of the best. You have been feeling your fears instead of your faith. You have been living from your problems instead of living from your solutions. This is why your dreams have remained dreams instead of becoming reality. But tonight you can change all of that. Tonight you can begin to assume your good instead of your limitation. The change must begin within you. You cannot manifest what you do not first become in consciousness. You cannot attract what you do not first appropriate in imagination. You cannot receive what you do not first believe you possess. Your outer world is always a reflection of your inner world, always a mirror of your state of consciousness, always an expression of your dominant assumptions about yourself and your life. If you want to manifest love in your life, you must first assume that you are loved, that you are lovable, that you are worthy of love. You must feel yourself surrounded by love, filled with love, expressing love. You must imagine loving relationships, experience loving interactions, assume loving responses from others. When love becomes your assumption, when love becomes your viewing, when love becomes your natural state, then love will manifest in your world as surely as flowers bloom in spring. If you want to manifest abundance in your life, you must first assume that you are abundant, that you are prosperous, that you are wealthy in all good things. You must feel yourself having more than enough, possessing all that you need and desire, living in comfort and luxury. You must imagine abundance flowing to you from every direction. Experience prosperity in all its forms. Assume wealth as your natural inheritance. When abundance becomes your assumption, when prosperity becomes your feeling, when wealth becomes your consciousness, then these things will manifest in your world as inevitably as rain falls from clouds. If you want to manifest health in your life, you must first assume that you are healthy, that you are whole, that you are perfect in every way. You must feel yourself vibrant and energetic, strong and vital, radiating with well-being. You must imagine perfect health in every cell of your body, experience vitality flowing through every organ and system, assume wholeness as your divine birthright. When health becomes your assumption, when vitality becomes your feeling, when wholeness becomes your consciousness, then perfect health will manifest in your world as naturally as trees grow toward the light. Whatever your dream may be, the principle is always the same. You must first become in imagination what you want to become in reality. You must first possess in consciousness what you want to possess in experience. You must first assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled before your wish can be fulfilled in full world. This is not magic, though it may seem magical to those who do not understand the law. This is not superstition, though it may appear supernatural to those who do not comprehend the power of consciousness. This is natural law, as reliable as the law of gravity, as predictable as the law of mathematics, as dependable as the law of cause and effect. The cause is always in consciousness. The effect is always in the world of appearances. Change the cause, and you must change the effect. Alter your consciousness, and you must alter your experience. Transform your assumptions, and you must transform your world. This is the law, and it operates with absolute precision and perfect consistency. But you must have faith in this law. You must trust in the power of your imagination. You must believe in your ability to manifest your dreams into reality. Without faith, without trust, without belief, your efforts will be weak and your results will be inconsistent. But with faith, with trust, with belief, you become an irresistible force. And no dream is too big, no goal is too ambitious, no desire is too grand for you to achieve. Faith is not blind belief in something you hope is true. Faith is the confident expectation of something you know is true. Faith is the feeling of certainty that comes from understanding the law and trusting in its operation. Faith is the inner knowing that your imagination creates reality and that your assumptions determine your experience. When you have this kind of faith, when you possess this kind of trust, when you maintain this kind of belief, then doubt cannot enter your consciousness, fear cannot disturb your peace, and worry cannot weaken your power. You know that what you have assumed in imagination must come to pass in reality. You know that what you have felt as true must manifest as fact. You know that what you have claimed in consciousness must appear in your world. This knowing gives you patience when results seem slow in coming. This knowing gives you persistence when obstacles seem to block your way. This knowing gives you peace when others question your methods or doubt your dreams. You are not depending on their understanding or their approval. You are depending on the law that never fails, the power that never weakens, the truth that never changes. Your dreams are not too big for this law. Your goals are not too ambitious for this power. Your desires are not too grand for this truth. There is no dream too vast, no vision too magnificent, no aspiration too lofty for you to manifest into reality through the proper use of your imagination. The same power that created the universe is operating through you right now, waiting for your recognition, ready for your direction, available for your use. You have been given dominion over your world. You have been endowed with creative power. You have been equipped with everything you need to manifest your dreams into reality. The only question is whether you will use these gifts or let them lie dormant. The only question is whether you will assume your power or continue to assume your limitation. The only question is whether you will live from your dreams or continue to live from your problems. The choice is yours, and the choice is now. You cannot change your past, but you can determine your future. You cannot alter what has been, but you can create what will be. You cannot undo yesterday's assumptions, but you can begin today's assumptions. Every moment offers you a fresh opportunity to assume your good, to claim your dreams, to manifest your desires. Do not wait for conditions to change. Do not wait for others to give you permission. Do not wait for the perfect moment or the right circumstances. Begin now where you are with what you have. Begin with a simple assumption. Begin with a single feeling. Begin with one imaginal act. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And the manifestation of your grandest dream begins with a single assumption. Your assumption does not have to be perfect. Your feeling does not have to be complete. Your imagination does not have to be vivid. You need only to begin, to make a start, to take the first step. As you practice, as you persist, as you continue, your assumption will become stronger. Your feeling will become deeper. Your imagination will become clearer. Like a muscle that grows stronger with exercise, your manifesting power will increase with use. Do not be discouraged if results do not appear immediately. Do not be disappointed if changes seem slow in coming. Do not be disheartened if others do not see what you see or feel what you feel. You are working with eternal principles, universal laws, divine truths. These forces operate in their own time, in their own way, according to their own wisdom. Your task is not to dictate how or when your dreams will manifest, but simply to assume that they will manifest and to maintain that assumption until they do. Trust the process. Have faith in the law. Believe in your power. Continue in your assumption regardless of what your senses tell you, regardless of what others say to you, regardless of what circumstances suggest to you. Your senses can deceive you. Others can mislead you. Circumstances can lie to you. But your assumption, when maintained with feeling and faith, will always prove true in time. Time is not your enemy in this process. Time is your friend, your ally, your helper. Time allows your assumption to deepen. your feeling to strengthen, your faith to mature. Time provides the interval needed for your inner change to become outer manifestation, for your consciousness to become experience, for your dreams to become reality. Be patient with the process, but be persistent with your practice. Be gentle with yourself, but be firm in your assumption. Be understanding of the delays, but be unwavering in your faith. What you have assumed in consciousness must come to pass in experience. What you have felt as true must manifest as fact. What you have claimed as yours must appear in your world. This is not mere positive thinking, though positive thinking is involved. This is not simple visualization, though visualization is included. This is not basic affirmation, though affirmation may be used. This is assumption, the assumption of your wish fulfilled, maintained with feeling until it hardens into fact. This is the technique that transforms dreams into reality, desires into demonstrations, visions into victories. Your life up to this moment has been the outward expression of your inner assumptions. If you like what you see, continue your current assumptions. If you do not like what you see, change your assumptions. It is that simple. Though simple does not mean easy. It requires discipline to assume the best when you see the worst. It requires faith to feel your good when you experience limitation. It requires persistence to maintain your vision when others see only problems. But you have that discipline. You have that faith. You have that persistence. These qualities are not foreign to your nature. They are inherent in your being. They are part of your divine inheritance. They are tools in your spiritual toolkit. You need only to recognize them, claim them, and use them to manifest your dreams into reality. Every great achievement in human history began with someone who dared to assume that what seemed impossible was actually possible. Every breakthrough, every discovery, every innovation started with an individual who refused to accept limitation as final, who chose to live from their vision rather than their circumstances, who persisted in their assumption until it became their reality. You are no different from these great achievers. You possess the same power they possessed. You have access to the same law they used. You can apply the same principles they applied. The only difference between you and them is that they understood what you are learning tonight. They knew what you now know. They practiced what you can now practice. Tonight marks a turning point in your life. Tonight you learn the secret of secrets, the law of laws, the principle of principles. Tonight you discover that you are not a helpless victim of circumstances, but the powerful creator of circumstances. Tonight you realize that you are not dependent upon the world for your good, but the world is dependent upon you for its expression of good. From this night forward, you need never again feel powerless or hopeless or helpless. You have the key that unlocks every door, the solution to every problem, the answer to every question. That key, that solution, that answer is your imagination properly directed and persistently applied. Your dreams are waiting for you to claim them. Your desires are ready for you to assume them. Your goals are prepared for you to achieve them. They exist now in the realm of infinite possibilities. They await only your recognition, your acceptance, your assumption. When you assume them as already yours, when you feel them as already accomplished, when you live from them as already achieved, they must manifest in your world as surely as night follows day. This is your invitation to greatness. This is your call to creativity. This is your summons to mastery. You have been chosen, not by chance, but by consciousness, not by faith, but by faith, not by accident, but by assumption, to manifest your dreams into reality and to demonstrate to the world the power of imagination. Go forth from this place knowing who you are and what you can do. Go forth understanding the law and how to use it. Go forth with confidence in your power and faith in your ability. Assume your good. Feel your dreams fulfilled. Live from your vision accomplished. Your imagination is the Lord and Savior of your world. Your assumption is the creative force that shapes your experience. Your feeling is the secret that activates the power within you. Tonight you begin a new life. A life of conscious creation, deliberate manifestation, and purposeful dreaming. Tonight you step into your power as the operant force in your world. Tonight you claim your birthright as the creator of your destiny. Manifest your dreams into reality, for this is your purpose, your privilege, and your divine prerogative. Most of you have spent your entire lives in a state of constant resistance. You resist what is, while desperately reaching for what is not. You push against your present circumstances with such force, such determination, such righteous indignation, believing that this very resistance will somehow catapult you into a better tomorrow. But I tell you now with absolute certainty that resistance is the very thing that keeps you chained to the unwanted present. The moment you truly understand what I am about to share with you, your world will never be the same. For I am not speaking to you of positive thinking or wishful dreaming. I am revealing to you the fundamental law by which all reality operates, the divine principle that governs every manifestation in your experience. When you grasp this principle and cease your futile struggle against what is, you will discover that you have been the creator of your reality all along. But first you must understand what resistance truly is. Resistance is not merely disliking your current circumstances. Resistance is the emotional and mental energy you expend in denying the present moment its right to exist. It is the constant commentary running through your mind that says, this should not be happening to me. This is wrong. This is unfair. This must change immediately. It is the chronic state of being at war with what is. Every time you say to yourself, I hate my job, you are not simply expressing a preference. You are actively resisting the present moment. Every time you declare, I don't have money, you are not merely stating a fact. You are energetically pushing against your current financial reality. Every time you complain about your health, your relationships, your living situation, you are adding power to the very conditions you claim to want to change. You must understand that your resistance is not neutral. It is creative force. It is the very energy that perpetuates and strengthens the unwanted conditions in your life. For consciousness is the only reality. And what you are conscious of, you experience. When you resist your present circumstances, you become intensely conscious of them. You think about them, you feel them, you talk about them, you lose sleep over them. And in doing so, you are feeding them with the very substance of creation itself. The mystics of old understood this principle when they spoke of acceptance. But they did not mean passive resignation or defeated surrender. They meant something far more profound. They meant the recognition that this moment, exactly as it is, contains within it the seed of all transformation. They understood that the present moment is not your enemy to be conquered, but your partner in the dance of creation. When I speak of stopping your resistance to the now, I am not asking you to like your circumstances. I am not suggesting that you become content with mediocrity or settle for less than your heart's desire. What I am revealing to you is that your current circumstances are not your reality. They are simply the outpicturing of your past states of consciousness. They are yesterday's mental diet made manifest. They are the harvest of seeds you planted in consciousness weeks, months, or even years ago. The present moment contains no past and no future. It contains only pure potential, infinite possibility, the very essence of I am. When you stop resisting what appears to be true now, you free your consciousness to create anew. You stop giving power to the old story and begin to author a new one. You cease being the victim of your circumstances and reclaim your throne as the creator of your experience. Let me share with you exactly how this works. Imagine for a moment that you are deeply in debt. Every day you receive bills in the mail. Every day you check your bank account and see the same insufficient balance. Every day you worry about money, think about money, struggle with money. What are you doing? You are resisting your current financial situation with such intensity that you are actually strengthening it. You are becoming more and more conscious of lack, and consciousness is the only reality. But what if, instead of fighting against your debt, you simply acknowledged it without resistance? What if you looked at those bills and said, yes, this is what appears to be true in my world right now? Not with resignation, but with the quiet confidence of one who knows that appearances are not reality. What if you stop feeding the fire of financial struggle with your emotional reactions and mental commentary? The moment you stop resisting your current financial circumstances, something remarkable happens. Your consciousness is freed from its fixation on lack. No longer are you mentally and emotionally invested in the story of not having enough. No longer are you giving creative power to poverty consciousness. You have stepped out of the old pattern and created space for something new to emerge. This is where the real work begins. For having ceased your resistance to what is, you now have the opportunity to consciously choose what will be. You can now deliberately assume the feeling of already having the financial freedom you desire. You can now live from the consciousness of abundance rather than the consciousness of lack. You can now author a new story from the blank page of the present moment. But understand this clearly, you cannot successfully assume a new state of consciousness while simultaneously resisting your current circumstances. It is impossible to feel wealthy while hating your poverty. It is impossible to experience health while fighting your illness. It is impossible to know love while resisting your loneliness. The two states of consciousness cannot coexist in the same moment. This is why so many of your attempts at manifestation have failed. You have tried to create from a divided consciousness. You have attempted to plant seeds of abundance in soil poisoned by resistance to lack. You have sought to build your dream house on a foundation of rejection of your current address. It cannot be done. Creation requires a unified consciousness, a single-pointed focus, an undivided heart. When you cease your resistance to the present moment, you discover something that will astound you. You discover that the present moment has no opinions about itself. It does not insist on being permanent. It does not fight to maintain itself. It simply is, and then it passes away, making room for the next moment to unfold. The present moment is infinitely flexible, endlessly creative, completely responsive to consciousness. Your resistance is what makes your circumstances appear solid and unchangeable. Your resistance is what creates the illusion that you are stuck, trapped, powerless to alter your experience. But the moment you withdraw your resistance, you discover that your circumstances are as fluid, as water, as malleable as clay in the hands of a master sculptor. They are not your master, you are their creator. I want you to understand something that will revolutionize your entire approach to life. Your circumstances are never the cause of your experience. Your consciousness is the cause, and your circumstances are the effect. This means that changing your circumstances is not about manipulating the external world. It is about transforming your internal world, your consciousness, your state of being. When you resist your present circumstances, you are trying to change the effect while leaving the cause intact. It is like looking in a mirror and trying to change your reflection by manipulating the mirror. The only way to change your reflection is to change yourself. The only way to change your circumstances is to change your consciousness. But here is what most people do not understand. You cannot change your consciousness while resisting your present experience. Resistance locks you into the old consciousness. It keeps you fixated on what you do not want. It prevents you from assuming the new state that will create the new circumstances. The present moment is not your problem. Your resistance to the present moment is your problem. The present moment is not your limitation. Your resistance to the present moment is your limitation. The present moment is not your enemy. Your resistance to the present moment is your enemy. When you truly grasp this principle, you will see your entire life differently. You will understand that every challenging circumstance, every unwanted condition, every difficult situation is not a punishment or a mistake. It is an invitation to stop resisting and start creating consciously. It is life asking you to remember who you really are and to reclaim your power as the creator of your experience. Let me take you deeper into this understanding. When you resist the present moment, you are essentially saying to the universe, you got it wrong. This moment should be different than it is. But the universe does not make mistakes. Every moment unfolds in perfect response to consciousness. Your present circumstances are the perfect outpicturing of your past states of consciousness. They are not random, they are not accidents, they are not punishments. They are the faithful mirror of your inner world. This is why resistance is so futile. You are fighting against the perfect reflection of your own consciousness. You are arguing with your own creation. You are at war with yourself. And in any war with yourself, you can only lose. But when you cease your resistance, something miraculous occurs. You stop being at war with yourself and begin to work with yourself. You stop fighting your own reflection and begin to change what creates the reflection. You stop being the victim of your circumstances and begin to be the conscious creator of new circumstances. The key to understanding this principle lies in recognizing the difference between acknowledgement and resistance. Acknowledgement says, This is what appears to be true right now. Resistance says, this should not be true right now. Acknowledgement is neutral, peaceful, accepting of what is. Resistance is charged, emotional, fighting against what is. When you acknowledge your present circumstances without resistance, you are not giving up or giving in. You are simply stepping out of the old pattern of struggle. You are refusing to feed the unwanted conditions with your emotional and mental energy. You are withdrawing your creative power from the old story and making it available for the creation of a new story. This is what the ancient wisdom meant when it spoke of surrender. Not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of struggle. Not giving up on your dreams, but giving up the belief that fighting against what is will somehow create what you want. Not accepting less than you deserve, but accepting the present moment as the perfect starting point for creating what you do deserve. The present moment asks nothing of you except your presence. It does not require your approval or your resistance. It simply invites you to be here now, fully conscious and awake. And when you accept this invitation, when you show up fully to what is, you discover that the present moment is not a prison, but a doorway. Not a limitation, but a possibility. Not an ending, but a beginning. Think about this for a moment. Every great transformation in your life has begun with acceptance of where you were. Every positive change has started with the recognition of what was true in that moment. You cannot go from here to there without first being honestly and completely here. You cannot create something new without first acknowledging what currently exists. This is why resistance is such a barrier to transformation. It keeps you from being fully present to what is. And without full presence to what is, you cannot consciously create what will be. Resistance scatters your consciousness, divides your attention, fragments your creative power. It makes you mentally and emotionally unavailable for the work of conscious creation. But when you stop resisting, your consciousness becomes unified, focused, available. You are no longer fighting a war on two fronts, trying to push away what you do not want, while simultaneously reaching for what you do want. You are simply here, now, in this moment, with all of your creative power gathered and ready to be directed toward your chosen end. This is the secret that the great spiritual teachers have been trying to convey throughout the ages. The kingdom of heaven is within you, they said. The power to create your reality lies in your consciousness, not in your circumstances. The present moment is the point of power, the place where all transformation begins. When Jesus said, resist not evil, he was not teaching passivity or encouraging people to accept injustice. He was revealing the fundamental law of consciousness that resistance perpetuates what you resist, while acceptance transforms it. He was showing us that the way to overcome any unwanted condition is not to fight against it, but to withdraw our creative power from it and invest that power in the creation of what we truly desire. This principle applies to every area of your life. If you are unhappy in your relationship, stop resisting your partner's behavior and start assuming the feeling of already experiencing the love you desire. If you are dissatisfied with your career, stop fighting against your current job and start living from the consciousness of already being in your ideal profession. If you are struggling with health issues, stop battling your symptoms and start feeling the wellness that is your natural state. But remember, this is not about denial or pretense. This is not about closing your eyes to reality and pretending everything is perfect. This is about understanding what reality truly is. Reality is not your circumstances. Reality is consciousness. Your circumstances are simply the carried out picturing of consciousness. They are not permanent. They are not solid. They are not unchangeable. They are fluid, responsive, completely under the dominion of consciousness. When you stop resisting your circumstances, you stop giving them the power to resist change. When you stop fighting against what is, you stop strengthening what is. When you cease being emotionally and mentally invested in the old story begins to lose its power over your experience. This is where faith comes in. Not faith in some external deity or force, but faith in the principle of consciousness. Faith that when you change your inner world, your outer world must reflect that change. Faith that when you assume a new state of consciousness and persist in that assumption, your circumstances will inevitably conform to your new state. But this faith cannot coexist with resistance. You cannot simultaneously believe in the power of consciousness while fighting against its current manifestation. You cannot have faith in your ability to create while being at war with what you have already created. Faith and resistance are mutually exclusive. This is why the scriptures speak of having faith like a child. A child does not question whether their imagination is real. A child does not doubt whether their inner world has power over their experience. A child simply assumes a state and lives from that assumption with complete naturalness and confidence. You must reclaim this childlike faith in the power of consciousness. You must remember that your imagination is not make-believe, but the very force by which worlds are created. You must trust that when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption, the external world has no choice but to conform to your assumption. But again, this cannot happen while you are resisting your present circumstances. Resistance keeps you tied to the old state of consciousness. It prevents you from fully assuming the new state. It divides your creative power between fighting what is and creating what you want. The moment you stop resisting, all of your creative power becomes available for the work of conscious creation. You are no longer spending energy maintaining the old story through your emotional reactions and mental commentary. You are free to invest all of that energy in the assumption of your new story. This is what I mean when I say there is no reality shift until you stop resisting the now. As long as you are fighting against your present circumstances, you are locked into the consciousness that created those circumstances. You are perpetuating the old story with your resistance. You are strengthening the very conditions you claim to want to change. But the moment you withdraw your resistance, you step into the realm of infinite possibility. You become available for transformation. You open the door for consciousness to create anew. You remember that you are not the victim of your circumstances, but the author of your experience. Let me share with you a practical approach to implementing this principle in your daily life. Begin each day by consciously choosing not to resist what appears in your experience. When you wake up and remember your challenges, instead of automatically going into resistance mode, simply acknowledge what appears to be true without fighting against it. If you are facing financial difficulties, instead of spending your morning worrying about money and complaining about your situation, simply acknowledge that this is what appears to be true in your world right now. Do not feed it with emotional reactions. Do not strengthen it with mental commentary. Simply observe it as you would observe clouds passing across the sky. Then, having withdrawn your creative power from the old story, consciously assume the feeling of already having the financial freedom you desire. Feel what it would be like to wake up each morning knowing that all of your needs are abundantly met. Assume the consciousness of wealth rather than the consciousness of lack. If you are struggling with health issues, instead of spending your day focused on symptoms and limitations, simply acknowledge that this is what appears true about your body right now. Do not resist it. Do not fight it. Do not give it power through your emotional reactions. Then assume the feeling of perfect health and vitality. Feel yourself strong, energetic, radiant with wellness. If you are lonely and longing for love, instead of feeling sorry for yourself and complaining about your isolation, simply acknowledge that this is your current experience without fighting against it. Then assume the feeling of being deeply loved and cherished. Feel yourself surrounded by love, appreciated, valued, adored. The key is to make this a practice, not just an occasional attempt when you remember. Make it your default response to any unwanted condition. First, acknowledge without resistance. Then, assume the new state of consciousness. This is the rhythm of conscious creation. Acknowledge what is. Assume what you want to be. As you practice this principle, you will begin to notice something remarkable. Your circumstances will begin to shift in ways that seem almost magical. Opportunities will appear. People will show up. Conditions will align to support your new state of consciousness. What seemed impossible while you were in resistance will become natural and effortless as you learn to work with consciousness rather than against it. But understand that this is not magic. This is law. This is the fundamental principle by which reality operates. Consciousness is the only reality, and your external world is simply the faithful mirror of your internal world. When you change your consciousness, your world must change. It has no choice. It is law. The great teachers throughout history have all pointed to this same truth. They have used different words, different metaphors, different approaches, but they have all been revealing the same fundamental principle, that you are the creator of your reality, and your creative power lies in consciousness, not in circumstances. Buddha spoke of the end of suffering through the cessation of resistance. He taught that suffering comes not from circumstances themselves, but from our attachment to wanting things to be different than they are. When we stop resisting what is, suffering ends, and we become available for enlightenment. Jesus demonstrated this principle in his entire ministry. He never fought against external conditions. He simply assumed the consciousness of what he wanted to experience and let that consciousness manifest as changed circumstances. He turned water into wine, not by manipulating the water, but by assuming the consciousness of wine. He healed the sick not by fighting their diseases, but by assuming the consciousness of health. The ancient Hermetic teachings speak of this as the principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. Your external world corresponds to your internal world. Change the inner and the outer must follow. But you cannot change the inner while resisting the outer. Every mystical tradition has recognized this truth in its own way. The Hindus speak of Maya, the illusion of the external world. The Sufis teach that the world is a mirror, reflecting the qualities of consciousness. The Kabbalists understand that all of creation is simply the emanation of divine consciousness into form. But you do not need to study these traditions to understand this principle. You need only observe your own experience with clear eyes. Notice how your external world reflects your internal world. Notice how your circumstances mirror your consciousness. Notice how resistance perpetuates what you resist, while acceptance transforms it. The truth is, you have been using this principle your entire life, but unconsciously. Every condition in your life right now is the result of some state of consciousness you have assumed and persisted in. Your current circumstances are not accidents, they are creations. They are not punishments, they are reflections. They are not mistakes, they are perfect mirrors of your inner world. When you understand this, you realize that you have always been the creator of your reality. You have never been a victim, never been powerless, never been at the mercy of external forces. You have always had the power to create your experience through consciousness. You simply were not aware of it. This awareness changes everything. It means that no condition is permanent unless you make it so through your consciousness. It means that no circumstance is beyond your ability to transform through the right assumption of consciousness. It means that you are never stuck unless you choose to be stuck through resistance to what is. But with this power comes responsibility. You can no longer blame others for your experience. You can no longer point to external conditions as the cause of your problems. You can no longer play the victim or wait for someone else to rescue you. You must take full responsibility for your consciousness and therefore for your reality. This responsibility is not a burden. It is liberation. It means that you no longer need to wait for external conditions to change before you can be happy. You no longer need other people to behave differently before you can feel loved. You no longer need circumstances to improve before you can experience fulfillment. You can create any experience you desire right now through the assumption of the appropriate state of consciousness. But again, this cannot happen while you are resisting your present experience. Resistance keeps you locked in victim consciousness. It maintains the illusion that you are at the mercy of external forces. It prevents you from recognizing and claiming your power as the creator of your reality. The moment you stop resisting what is, you step into creator consciousness. You remember who you really are. You reclaim your throne as the author of your experience. You become consciously creative rather than unconsciously reactive. This is the great awakening that is available to every human being. This is the remembering that transforms victims into creators, problems into possibilities, limitations into launching pads. This is the recognition that changes everything, that consciousness is the only reality, and you are consciousness itself. When you fully embrace this truth, when you stop resisting the now and start creating consciously, you will discover that reality is far more fluid and responsive than you ever imagined. You will find that the world is not a fixed, solid, unchangeable thing, but a living, breathing, constantly transforming reflection of consciousness. You will realize that every moment is a new opportunity to create. Every breath is a chance to assume a new state. Every day is a blank canvas on which you can paint the masterpiece of your chosen life. You will understand that limitation is not a fact but a choice, that problems are not permanent but temporary outpicturings of consciousness, that miracles are not violations of natural law, but the natural result of elevated consciousness. This is your birthright. This is your nature. This is who you really are, the conscious creator of your reality, the author of your experience, the artist of your life. Stop resisting the now and remember, stop fighting what is and create what you want. Stop being the victim of your circumstances and become the master of your consciousness. The time for resistance is over. The time for conscious creation has begun. The time to remember who you truly are is now. There is no reality shift until you stop resisting the now. But the moment you do, all things become possible, all dreams become attainable, all desires become manifest. This is the truth that will set you free. Not free from your circumstances, but free to create new circumstances. Not free from responsibility, but free to take responsibility for your creative power. Not free from life, but free to live life as the conscious creator you were born to be. The choice is yours and the power is within you. Stop resisting and start creating. The reality you desire is waiting for your assumption. The life you dream of is waiting for your consciousness. The transformation you seek is waiting for your acceptance of this moment as the perfect starting point for all creation. There is no reality shift until you stop resisting the now. But when you do, when you finally cease your futile struggle against what is and begin to consciously create what will be, you will discover that you have always been the one you were waiting for, the power you were seeking, the miracle you were hoping for. The kingdom of heaven is within you, and the time to enter it is now.